Most people looking for a telephoto lens for their micro four thirds camera end up lugging around something heavy and cumbersome. But this little power zoom lens completely flips that script. It is honestly surprising how much reach is packed into such a compact frame. When you first pick it up, the weight or lack thereof is the first thing that hits you. At just over 7 ounces, it feels like it belongs on a much smaller camera, yet it gives you an equivalent reach of 350mm at the long end. That is a massive amount of zoom for something that fits so easily into a jacket pocket. What makes this thing stand out is the power zoom functionality. Instead of a manual ring that can sometimes feel jerky or inconsistent, you get this smooth, electronic zoom lever. It is a dream for anyone trying to capture video, because those slow, cinematic zooms become effortless. You do not have to worry about shaky hands ruining the shot, either. The optical image stabilization is genuinely impressive here. Even when pushed out to that 175mm mark, the footage stays remarkably steady. It handles those tiny, high-frequency vibrations that usually turn handheld telephoto shots into a blurry mess. Now the image quality is sharp, especially for a lens in this size class. Panasonic put a lot of work into the glass elements to keep chromatic aberration in check, and it shows. The contrast is punchy, and the nano surface coating does a solid job of keeping flare and ghosting at bay when shooting toward a light source. It is not a professional-grade prime lens, so do not expect that razor-thin depth of field, but for travel, wildlife, or just getting closer to the action at a local event, it hits a sweet spot. There is a slight quirk, though. Because it uses an internal focus system, the lens is incredibly quiet, which is great for video, but the electronic zoom can take a second to get used to if you are coming from a traditional mechanical lens. It is not quite as snappy as a manual twist zoom, so if you are trying to track a fast-moving bird or a sprinting athlete, you might find yourself wishing for a bit more immediate control. Also, the aperture range of f4 to 5.6 means it is not exactly a low-light monster. You will definitely want to keep your ISO in check once the sun starts to dip. Still, for the sheer convenience and the quality of the stabilization, it is hard to argue with what this lens brings to the table. It is one of those pieces of gear that you end up keeping on your camera body more often than not, simply because it does not weigh you down. If you value mobility and smooth video performance over having a super fast aperture, this is a really smart addition to any micro four thirds kit. It is not perfect, but it is incredibly practical, and sometimes that is exactly what you need when you are out in the field.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.